Welcome to the Water Play podcast. I'm your host Jacob. As Lucas is not feeling well today, so I'm going solo. Lucas, do get better. So week 1 went not as expected for my predictions, but as expected as a week 1 should go. It's sloppy. It's a non-defensive battle. Some missed throws. Timing's a little off. All of it. So let's begin with the recap. Now, last week we recapped Ravens and Chiefs, with the Chiefs winning 27-20. Lucas and I gave one good reason for the offense, one good reason for the defense. What did we like? What did we hate? It just so happened to be both offense in that situation. We're going to do the same thing here with the Patriots versus the Bengals. Now, I'm not the resident Patriots fan Lucas is. Let me tell you something. The Bengals start slow every year. They do. For whatever reason, under Zach Taylor, they start slow. Don't know why, they just do. But 10 points. I convinced myself that even without Jamar Chase, this Bengals team would win. Now, Jamar Chase did in fact play, but T. Higgins did not. Okay, T. Higgins had a hamstring issue, did not play. But that still feels like, okay, this Bengals team is better than the Patriots. And I gotta say this right now, I don't know about this Bengals team. And at least at this juncture. They only scored 10 points, and that was all in the second half. Because they were fumbling, they were making a lot of mistakes, sacks were giving up. And look, all the credit to the Patriots. But the one good and the one bad, I don't even know if that even applies to the Bengals. I guess the one good is the defense. They only gave up 16 points, but I think that's more in New England than the defense. And the offense they didn't look good. They looked putrid, and that's not good for this Bengals team. Now, for the Patriots, you won a game against a really good team. Maybe not good now, but good in the following couple weeks. They'll be good. That's a thing you want. You beat a good quarterback. You beat a team that's been in the playoffs for the last few years. That's what you want. That is perfect. Everyone wants that. You did it. Can you do it again? And that's going to be the question all year long if you're the New England Patriots. Can you do it again? And look, Jerod Mayo did a great job. He put his team in the best situation as he could. And they won that game. That's a great coaching job by Jerod Mayo. I guess the good was the defense of the Patriots. I mean, I looked at them in the preseason a few times, and they looked good to me. So they didn't look like they missed Matthew Judon that much at all. So I thought they did good on defense. Offense, I guess, played as expected, not very much in the best positions because of their quarterback. The offensive line is not perfect, but they can get by, and that's important. Again, this is gonna be like a down year for New England anyway. You're rebuilding. You got a new coach. You got some pieces that you have to fill in. It takes a little bit, but this is promising for sure. Next up, Cowboys versus Browns. Cowboys won this game 33-17. And for the Cowboys, Dak didn't have to do a whole lot. But actually, let me rephrase. The offense did not have to do a lot. The offense did not have to be perfect. Now, Dak Prescott did in fact say, and he said this today, we left a lot of meat on the bone. We could have and should have been better on offense. Concur for sure. But I thought he did well. Not perfect, but well. The Browns have a really tough defense. You have Myles Garrett. You have Jim Schwartz as the defensive coordinator. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah just got paid because he's really good. And I thought the Cowboys did some nice things. They moved the pocket. They made it easy for Dak Prescott. Could fall out quick. Let's go. And that's good. That's a good thing. It's not what the Browns did, which we'll talk about in a little bit. The run game, really good, honestly. Even though the leading rusher was Zeke and he only had 40 yards, he looked good for the limited he played. So I'll take that. I mean, he hurdled over someone, didn't count, but he hurdled over somebody. That works. So, and he scored. I'll take that. But what really impressed me about this Cowboys team was their defense, specifically the rush defense. They looked good. And I understand there's no Nick Chubb, but this Browns team, and they had 2 tackles out. I understand that. But they looked good in the rush defense. I was really pleased with that. And you had a backup cornerback in there playing against Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy. That's not easy to do, and he did fairly well as well. Kalen Carson did. So I like that. I like how they play. I thought there's some things they could clean up, but for the most part, really, really good showing. For the Browns, yikes. That's the best way I can put it. It's yikes. That was bad. That was really bad. Because Deshaun Watson, I think, completed like 3 passes over 15 yards and like 5 passes over 10 yards. They didn't do anything. There was a nice throw, a really nice throw that he made to Amari Cooper late in the game on a double move, and Amari dropped it. That kind of tells you how this game was going. But Amari Cooper had 2 catches. Jerry Jeudy, I think, had 3 catches. They were not involved. Njoku got hurt in the game. Hopefully he's all right. We will talk about some injuries in a little bit. But it was not good for the Browns. Even the defense was not that good. They struggled. Deshaun Watson got sacked 6 times. That was the Cowboys. Trayvon Diggs said this, and I don't know if Trayvon Diggs actually was the first person to say it, but it might have been. So I'm going to give him the credit here. He said they legit ran like 3 plays. They didn't do anything because they knew Deshaun couldn't deal with pressure. So they just pressured him. 27 pressures and 6 sacks. I mean, they made everyone on that defense look good. Just to say. But I don't know if that's because the Browns' offense is starting slow. If Deshaun Watson's still just not a good quarterback. I know he's going through his legal issues still. Over what's happened, which we won't really get into. Everyone else does it. I don't need to pile on anything like that. But yeah, bad showing for the Browns on offense and on defense. Next up, Rams-Lions. Lions won this game 26-20. I've said this throughout my time. I feel like anytime these Lions and Rams play each other, it's going to be a classic. They're going to find a way to make this game interesting. The Rams had backup offensive linemen in the game because Avila got hurt. The backup tackle got hurt. They had to put in another tackle. And they made it work. They had a backup center, and they made that work. It was impressive. Matthew Stafford looks like Detroit Matthew Stafford, where everything around him is going to complete garbage, and he finds a way to make it look good. Puka Nacua got hurt. We will talk about that in a little bit. Cooper Kupp looked great. He made a great sideline catch. The run game is because of the offensive line, of course. But they made that work. And I thought that defense of the Rams was not going to be that good. They played really well, I thought. So this game goes 26-20 Lions. I said this on NFL World on Monday. I think it says it also on Thursday. Excuse me, on Thursday. I said it. I'm not shocking myself in saying it. This is what I believe. This is what I truly, truly believe. That they played well. The Rams did. And the Lions played well. But I said that when they got to overtime, I said whoever gets the ball, they're going to just go down the field and score. Because everyone's gassed. It's hard enough to play an NFL game. It's hard enough. It's really hard to play in a Week 1 game. Because no one does preseason as the starters anymore. No one does it. So you're not in shape. Everything is harder because you're sweating. It's like a struggle for the first game, maybe even the first 2 games. But you get to game 3, it should fill out. But doing an overtime game, Week 1, that is brutal. That is the worst kind of brutal that you can get. So I believe if the Rams would have gotten it first in overtime, that they would have had scored and game would have been over. The Lions got it first. They went down and scored. Game was over. That's what happened. The one good thing about the Lions, their run game looked really good. Like they didn't miss a beat on offense, but their run game was beautiful. On the final drive, David Montgomery was getting everything he wanted. So I like what they did on offense. Defense, specifically secondary, it's still a concern if you're on the Lions. Still a concern because you have to fix that. You have to fix it. That was the issue last year. Was their secondary was a problem. They brought in Sutton last year. They released him because of his off-field issues. But there's problems in the secondary. It needs to be addressed. I don't know what you do, but it needs to be addressed. And for the Rams, like I said, offense and defense looked good. The only negative was they looked tired. That was it. They looked good. They looked really good. They were exhausted at the end. I guess that's my negative. They were just exhausted. And Jets Niners, 49ers won this game 32-19, and it wasn't even that close. Let's start with the 49ers. No Christian McCaffrey. We'll talk about that. We all talked about what happened with Victor Percival, which get rid of Vicky Percival. Hopefully we see you on the field soon. The run game looked exquisite. The passing game didn't look like they missed a beat. Protection was phenomenal. Purdy had all day. And when he got pressure, he dealt with it. It was not a problem. I guess my one negative from the 49ers was they did struggle near the end of the game, mostly because they were tired. That was it. For the Jets, I felt like that was the most anticlimactic showing from the Jets. That is a Jets play, a Jets game. That is what it is. It is so anticlimactic. I'm watching this game and I stopped fully paying attention, mainly because I knew I wasn't going to miss anything, and I didn't miss anything. That's the crazy part. They had one good drive in that game, and it was the one drive because Garrett Wilson actually looked like a number one, and they ran the ball well. But on the first couple plays that the Jets had, they ran a toss to the left, and then they ran a toss to the right. Back-to-back plays. Like, I don't know why they did it, but they did it. It was like either on the first or second drive. They fumble on the second drive, and it was like, I don't know what they're doing. It's weird play calling. And that's why I'm like, even with Aaron Rodgers did not look good. He did not look good. He looked like he could still make the throws. He can still do all the things. He just didn't play well. Maybe that's rust. Maybe that's because he hasn't played in 2 years, basically. Maybe that's rust. I don't know. But the point is, he didn't play well. The offense didn't play well. Allen Lazard was your best player. That's not great. Suggesting he was not even a great player for you guys last year. And on top of all that, the play calling was terrible. Again, like we just said, the toss to the left, the toss to the right, back-to-back plays. Why would that be done? Unless Aaron checked to it, that should never have happened. Yet it happened. It was ridiculous. The play calling actually got better when Aaron Rodgers was taken out of the game and they put Tyrod Taylor in. I don't know why. It was better, maybe because he could move more. I don't know. But the point is, it did not look good. It was not a good showing from the offense. And the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. They couldn't do anything against the pass or against the rush. They looked terrible. Like we said earlier, no Christian McCaffrey, and they still couldn't stop the run. So let's get into the news here, and let's kind of go a little quickly. Dak Prescott, before his game against the Browns, got a contract. He agreed to terms and signed the contract on Monday, but agreed to terms with the Cowboys on a new contract. 4 years, $240 million, $231 million guaranteed, and $80 million at signing. That's the reason I put it like that. Because normally I'll just do the base salary and the guarantees. Those are all records. $240 million, that's a $60 million guy. $231 million, that's more than Deshaun Watson guarantees. So they need to give him a fully guaranteed contract. for 5 years, essentially, because he has one extra year, and $80 million guaranteed. That's the highest number to make at signing. All records. That's the reason I wrote it that way. And again, well deserved. 100% sure. Well deserved. He made his money. He played awesome last year. Now he's got to show he can do it again and pull this team to a place that they haven't been to in 20 years, in 25, 28 years, actually. So that's the next challenge for him. Can he do it? The Cowboys obviously feel like he can. They paid him that money. Now he's got to show them that he is able to. I wrote this down. This is a sarcastic news. I said Aaron Rodgers survives an NFL game. Plays terrible. Very accurate. Very accurate. Did not play well. He didn't play well. It's not just him, but he didn't play well. Excuse me. I thought he missed a lot of throws. He threw an interception because him and the wide receiver aren't on the same page. That's not good. It needs to be addressed. Either within the week, whatever. Something has to be fixed. Next up, Jordan Love. I feel bad. Actually, I'm going to put these two together because these two are actually the same injury. Jordan Love and Cowboy tight end Jake Ferguson both suffered MCL sprains. 2 miss or may miss time. It looks like Jordan Love won't play this week. Probably won't play for 2 weeks. But it's not as bad as they thought because when we saw the injury, look, that Brazil field was terrible. No doubt. It was awful. And I know what happened with how people didn't want to blame Jalen Carter. I'm going to blame him. Here we go. Here's the reason. I'm going to blame Jalen Carter for this. Here's my reason. Jalen Carter is on the ground near the back foot of Jordan Love. Traps Jordan Love's ankle and pushes his torso forward into Jordan Love's knee. And his knee pops. Because you can see it on, like if you didn't watch on Peacock, but you could see it on Twitter and all kinds of different social media. You see his leg go a little bit, and then he's down, and he's like holding his leg, and you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? It was bad. So he went, and they had to travel 10.5 hours to see what it was. It was an MCL sprain. Not as bad as everyone thought. I thought tear immediately. Bye. See you later. Only out for 3 to 6 weeks, but probably closer to the 3-week mark, which is good. Really good for Jordan Love and the Packers. Now they have Malik Willis. Hopefully he keeps you afloat. That's all you can say. Jake Ferguson suffered the same injury, not on the same play. Injures MCL and has a bone bruise. And I said may miss time because he says he thinks he can play through it. And that the Cowboys feel like he's trending towards playing. So that's all well and good. And when you have an MCL injury, you don't fully know. Some guys can play through it, some guys can't. Depends on the injury. Both guys have said that it didn't grade out badly because there's grades too. So there's grade 1, grade 2, obviously a lot less than grades 3 and 4. Both guys feel like they have a grade 1. Next up, David Njoku, as we talked about earlier, injured his ankle. He's going to miss some time. It was just one of those plays. You can't avoid it. You just get put in a bad spot. He took a big hit, and he ended up being in between two guys in there, and it's that you can't expect that to not happen. It just does sometimes. Panthers had a terrible week. It gets compounded with the fact that Derek Brown, one of the best defensive linemen, actually probably the best defensive lineman they have, suffered a potential season-ending injury. The reason I worded it that way is because we don't fully know what the injury is. But potentially season-ending just makes it go from extremely bad to far worse. And that's where we are with the Panthers. To the point, I put this line under here. I'm taking this from the Rich Eisen show. So he really started with this with the Giants. But I'm including the Panthers in this. Can we just give them a hug? Please, can we just give them a hug? Can we just go and hug them? Tell them it's okay when we know it's completely not okay? Let me give you the reason. The Panthers were the worst team in the NFL last year. They didn't get the first overall pick because they traded that away the year before. And the Bears got it. And they drafted their star quarterback and their star wide receiver later because they were not great last year. But they got their star quarterback and their star receiver. And they won a game even though it was brutal. And the offense didn't do much. The defense was the one that, in the special teams, were the ones that did anything. But it worked. The Panthers are in this position of they don't look good. They don't look good. They look bad, and they somehow look worse than they did a year ago. And I don't know how that happened. They didn't look like they could play with the Saints at all. And then Bryce Young looks like he has never played football in his life. The Panthers look like they're a JV team. Well, actually, I'll go worse. They were worse. They're like a Pop Warner team over there. They're just really tall. That's it. It's really sad to watch them play. The best way I can put it for the Panthers is only 17 more weeks, I guess, 16 more games, and then get ready for next year. I don't know. I don't know how else to put it. It's one of those things, man. You just gotta suffer through it, and it's brutal. It is. I mean, I said they might win 4 games. I don't know if they'll win a game. That's how bad they play. Moving on to um the Giants part of this. I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. I told you not paying Saquon was a problem, and it is a problem. It's a massive, massive problem. They can't move the ball. They can't move it. They got 6 points, and that was their score. That was it. At least the Panthers scored 10. That's at least respectable because you knew they had to score a touchdown. So they did. But the Giants couldn't do a thing. Daniel Jones looked horrible. The offensive line is still an issue. The defense looks like they are deer in headlights half the time. Sam Darnold torched you. Yes, he threw the one interception, so it's a complete. You know it's Sam Darnold because he threw the interception. Okay. But he torched you. Justin Jefferson. Who's going to throw the ball to Justin Jefferson? He won't look as good this year. It's Justin Jefferson, okay? Doesn't matter who throws him the ball. It could be an alien who throws him the ball. He'd find a way to catch it. This team, the Giants, I don't know where they are. They're not good. They can't move the ball. Daniel Jones doesn't look good. He didn't look good on the ground. When he was trying to run the football, he didn't look good. So can we just give these two teams a hug? I don't know. Take them out to eat. Something has to happen here. Someone has to hug them, take them out to eat, pay for their food. Something has to happen. I don't know what it is. Something has to happen. There's an old saying in the NFL. When you have a really bad game, you can either burn the tape, you can watch the tape, or you can bury the tape. I don't know how fast they tried to bury this tape. I think they wanted to bury these games. That's what I think they wanted to do, because they were bad. And the saddest part is at one point in the year, I believe in London, the Giants played the Panthers. That's going to be a horrible game. They can't move the ball. At least the Panthers can move the ball a little bit. Not great, but a little bit. It's better than nothing. Josh Allen doing Josh Allen things, rushing and throwing for 2 touchdowns each. Ran for 2, threw for 2. Only Steve Young has done that. You kind of wish they didn't need that Herculean effort, suggesting it was Arizona. But, okay. Like we talked about, both Christian McCaffrey was out on Monday Night Football with a calf/Achilles injury. The reason I say /Achilles is because I didn't know this. He injured his calf early in the preseason, really practice, and didn't play. But then it said he would be fine, which is precautionary. He took himself out later in the week before Monday Night Football for precautionary reasons. Okay, fine. And then I look, he's out, calf injury. Okay, fine. Thought I gave the Jets a chance. I actually picked the Jets. I sat down, and I was looking at the ticker because the game was getting away from the Jets. I was looking at the ticker on the bottom. It said Christian McCaffrey out, calf/Achilles. News to me about the Achilles part. I thought we were close. I guess not. But when I looked at the report that came out, I don't know if it was Tuesday or Wednesday. It must have been Tuesday. It said, and then I saw it again on Thursday. It said Achilles tendonitis is what it was called. And I asked myself this question on the NFL World YouTube channel, in which you can go find on YouTube. And I said to myself, if they put Christian McCaffrey out there and he injures his Achilles because it had tendonitis in it. Like, you cannot afford for that to happen because that's not going to happen. That 49ers rushing game is not going to happen constantly without Christian McCaffrey. He does so much. So you obviously need him. And Christian said he could go. In fact, it's in question if he goes on Sunday. So that's another thing we have to keep an eye on. Me personally, don't play him. Don't play him because he's too important. Wait till he gets fully healthy. Because then at least you did everything you could do. If it doesn't work and you throw him out there and he gets hurt, I know you can't play scared, but if he gets hurt, that's a problem. And now he's out for the year, and we gotta really be concerned about this running back room. Puka Nacua missed. I didn't miss. He was playing, got hurt in the game against the Lions, re-aggravated his knee issue, tried to come back in the game later, walked outside of, I think it was from the walk up from the tunnel on his side of the end zone to get like at the 1 or 2 yard line. It ended up going down because his knee was bothering him so much. They ended up having to bring the cart out. He went on the cart by himself. He didn't need assistance. He's been put on IR to miss 4 games. I want to grab this because this news broke today. Hollywood Brown also was placed on IR today. He's gonna miss 4 games. He's gonna have shoulder surgery, and this was the injury he suffered, the dislocation. That basically the amount of force that it took for that part to get dislocated would have been a car crash. So he's having surgery, placed on IR, missed 4 games. He is expected to only be back after week 5. Okay, and finally, we bring this up before we get to the predictions. Tua suffers another concussion. Can someone get to him and tell him to understand this? Slide. Learn to slide. He didn't need to hit anybody. He could slide. Here's why. It's a 3rd down. Actually, no, it's 4th down. 4th down. And 4, I think. And he got the 1st down. All he needs to do is slide. Just slide. And he decides to try and truck a defender, which ended up being DeMar Hamlin. Okay? He hits Hamlin's right arm and knocks himself out. Someone get to him and tell him slide. Because he didn't need to do that. Here's why he didn't need to do that. He had already picked up the 1st down. So what is the difference of getting the ball to the 8-yard line if you were at the 10 and you had the 1st down anyway? There's no difference. You just got hurt because you wanted to be aggressive and get the extra 2 yards. It's not worth it. Someone tell him slide. Teach him how to slide. Bring in a baseball guy. Do something. I don't care what you do. Put him in front of a TV. Have coaches with him. Have them go through how these quarterbacks slide. Because it's annoying. He's hurting himself because he doesn't know how to slide. He wants to be aggressive. He's not Josh Allen. Okay? He's not Lamar. He doesn't need to do that. It's not his style. If you're going to run, pick up the 1st down, slide down so you don't get hurt. If Hamlin would have launched and hit him while he was sliding, then there's nothing you could do. You didn't do that. Control what you can control. Slide. Protect your body. That's all you have to do. Protect yourself. Teach Tua how to slide. Now, Tua is okay. He has a concussion. He has movement in all of his extremities. They're in Miami, so he didn't have to go on a plane, which is good. But teach him how to slide and tell him to slide. Put it in practice. Do it over and over and over again just to teach him. Please do that. Next up, week 2's prediction. So with Lucas being sick, I asked him, could he send in his predictions? And he did. He did not give scores, but he did pick who he was going to take. So I'll go one by one with the predictions and say who he picked. So he has the Ravens in the game between the Raiders and the Ravens. It's a 9.5 point favorite. I have the Ravens as well. I think the Ravens are going to beat the Raiders down. The Raiders didn't look like they could stop the run against the Chargers. They made J.K. Dobbins, coming off an Achilles injury, look great. He was awesome. That's a problem, especially when you look at a guy like Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Justice Hill. Like, that's a problem. You gotta be able to stop the run. Those three guys, you couldn't beat J.K. Dobbins with one leg or Gus Edwards. Now you got the actual Baltimore Ravens coming to town and gonna be able to run the ball with the quarterback and the two running backs. They're not gonna win. Ravens aren't winning this. Ravens win big time. 35-10. Next up, Saints at Cowboys. Lucas has the Cowboys in this game. I too have the Cowboys because I just don't think the Saints are that good. They beat down a bad Panthers team. The Cowboys can get pressure. The Panthers only pressured Derek Carr 3 times the entire game. The Cowboys, I believe, pressured Deshaun Watson 48% of the time. So that tells you something. I have the Cowboys winning. It'll be a good game. I will admit that, but I have 28-20 Dallas. Actually, no, 28-14 Dallas. 28-14 Dallas. Next up, Seahawks versus Patriots. Lucas, obviously being the Patriot fan, took the Patriots. Patriots +3. This is where I disagree with him. I'm taking the Seahawks. Mainly because I don't know exactly how the Patriots are going to fare against this Mike McDonald defense. Geno Smith's a good quarterback. How are they going to, the matchup between Christian Gonzalez and DK Metcalf is going to be awesome to see, but I'm taking the Seahawks over the Patriots with the score 24-20. Next up, 49ers at Vikings. Vikings are getting +6.5. Lucas is taking the 49ers. I agree with him, mainly because I don't know if Sam Darnold can do it again. This is a revenge game for Sam Darnold. He played as a backup for the 49ers. This is going to be exciting to see how the Vikings fare this game. The Vikings beat the 49ers last time in the game that Brock Purdy didn't look that great in. We'll see if Christian McCaffrey plays a little bit. Let's see what happens. But I have the 49ers winning this game. Close game, 35-28. Next up, Buccaneers at Lions. Lucas has actually selected the Lions to win. Going against him, I'm taking Tampa Bay. Here's why. The Lions are favored by 7. That is a big margin. I don't think Tampa is less than that. I want to see how this Lions team fares against this Buccaneers team. So I have the Buccaneers. I don't know if they win. I know they cover. So I'll take the points and say Buccaneers win this game somehow with the score 35-34. Next up, Rams versus Cardinals. Cardinals are favored by 1 in this game. We made it. Cardinals are actually favored in the game. I'm taking the Rams. Lucas is taking the Rams as well. I don't see Arizona keeping up. I really want to see how this Rams offense looks in a divisional game, but I'm taking the Rams 28-20. And finally, Bengals versus Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 6. Lucas is taking the Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs as well for the reason of I don't know what the Bengals look like in week 2. Maybe they look better, maybe they look worse, but I don't know what they look like. Chiefs, I at least know that Xavier Worthy is going to be able to go. So I'm taking the Chiefs to win it'll be a good game. 31-24. And that is the predictions on the What to Play podcast. Let us know who you guys predict is going to win this game. But for Lucas, for myself, we enjoy the fact that you love the show, and we continue next week. Hopefully, Lucas will be back and ready to go for week 3 of the NFL season. I am Jacob Hebert. Wow. Peace.